Patience is a virtue. Everything in life takes time. Stay focused, stay consistent, stay on your grind.
What it do, what it do?
Coolin', man.
Yes, sir. Live in the building. Major D Star, let's get it.
Star Street Dialogue Podcast. What it do, man?
What's good? What's good? Man, we about to go on and get this thing started right now.
I ain't been on IG Live in a minute, man. I'm trying to make sure that goddamn.
Right. I see you got that merch on for sure. You feel me?
For sure. You already know that, man.
Man,
Trying to get it.
welcome to the podcast, man. Glad to have you on. Let's go on and get this thing started. You feel me?
So,
It's your boy A God. Welcome to Street Dialogue Podcast, where we give dialogue from a street perspective. And we have a special guest on today, Major D Star. I'm feeling that. Welcome to the podcast. So what I like to do, I like for my guests to introduce yourself for the fans and the people who are watching that don't know who you are. Go ahead on and introduce yourself, my brother.
So, from Detroit, been in the game. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, man. And shit, been in it since a youngin', bro. Like, this music running my blood. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm a recording artist. I just got into acting. I'm trying to do a little bit of everything, man. So, you know.
Exactly. Welcome to the podcast. So you from Motown, Detroit, correct?
It's Sirski.
So what does Motown, Detroit mean to you growing up from there?
Yeah, man, it mean everything, bro. You know, home is where the heart is. So, you know, I'm always repping even when I'm not there. Know what I mean?
Exactly. So your family is from Detroit?
Say it again?
Your family is from Detroit, correct?
Yes, sir. Detroit, and then I got kin in Memphis too. I got a lot of kin in Memphis too.
Oh, so you from the East Coast and from the South?
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying?
Got you. So
you know, we really
tell me about your.
You know, before that, we come from Memphis. The bloodline run deep. So, yep.
Exactly. Heard. So, tell me about your upbringing in Motown, Detroit, and how you came up. For the people
man,
that don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just like any city, man, like it's any inner city, you know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of poverty back home. You know what I mean? It's a lot of poverty. So you just gotta, you know what I'm saying, make your way, man, have faith, you know what I'm saying? And that'll get you through there, you know what I'm saying? Have big dreams. And that's why, you know what I'm saying, that's what I've always been on, just having big dreams, even through the midst of poverty, just knowing that, you know what I'm saying, we all here for a reason. So, yes, sir.
So you say you've been through a lot of poverty. So growing up, you had to witness a lot of things. Like, what things did you witness growing up, coming in the neighborhood where you from, you know, as a young adolescent, growing up in Detroit?
Man, I done witnessed it all, bro. From being in the middle of a damn shootout once, that's probably the worst time, but shit. To just seeing regular violence on the block, I mean, that was the regular, you know what I'm saying? Like, my parents always, like, tried to keep me out, but Detroit is Detroit, you know what I'm saying? So you gonna see it regardless, you know what I'm saying? Because everything in the city, you gotta go in the city for everything. Even once you move out, you still gotta, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I done seen it all, bro. Like, anywhere you go, you just gotta, you know what I'm saying, be on your P's and Q's. Because that's how it is. Like, shit can just pop off anywhere.
Exactly. So growing up, what schools did you go to in Detroit? Just to get a little bit of your background. What schools did you grow up in?
Yeah, so I done went to school in the hood and the burbs. You know what I'm saying? So from Northwestern to just in the burbs, I done went to Belleville for a second. That was the last year. That's when we got out the hood, and that's when I went down to Miami. So I really ended up, even though I started in the city and eventually got up out of there, start slithering my way out, I really ended up finishing like my last couple years of school in Miami. And that
Oh,
was,
okay.
yeah, and that was North Miami. So
Okay, that's where I was
I
around
finished my
too,
like my senior year. I
in North
graduated.
Miami.
Yep.
Got you, got you, got you. So
So I'm
when
familiar
did
with Miami, you know what I mean? Cause shit, that was my, you know what I'm saying, prime time. Yeah, I was just shit.
right?
It was
So
go
when
time.
did you transition to Miami, Florida, and what actually made that transition happen, moving from Detroit to Miami, Florida? Like, what made that transition happen for the move?
Me having that mindset, bro. Just knowing it was more for me than just the crib. And as far as like my taste in music as well, I feel like that would be a good blend. I felt like my sound had that Miami mixed with Detroit blend. It was like the perfect blend. Like that's what my shit sounded like. You know what I'm saying? Have it as far as like just having that down south smooth vibe, but still having that grit in it too. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
me
yeah.
just having that mindset, I just knew like you know what I'm saying, once I about to finish school, I need to, like, if I really want to put on this music shit, I need to go to another market with the way I'm trying to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't got no labels and shit back home like that. We ain't got no major labels, no distribution. You know what I'm saying? So you got to move
Yeah,
around, really make shit shake.
got you. So when did you actually start your music career?
I broke into the industry at 16. That was when I first, you know what I'm saying? Um, but it really just came to me when I was 6 years old, bro. I never forget. I just got
Right.
a feeling. It was a feeling. I remember that whole moment. You know what I'm saying? Even being 6 years old, I still feel that shit today. So it just ran in my blood from super young age. And then once I got older, I learned how to write around like 9 years old. And then I started recording myself. And that's when I started, getting into just picking up stuff from the business, reading books and shit like that, music business books. And yeah, so
So
it's
you
started at a
spend
young
money
age.
on your own studio and you just start getting in the booth. So you already knew how important it was to invest at yourself at a young age. So
Exactly. My first mic was, I don't think I ever told nobody this, bro. This is exclusive right now. My first microphone I got from Radio Shack. Nigga, that shit was that shit was
I
terrible.
remember Radio Shack back in
The
the
Radio
day.
Shack was the shit back then, boy. Niggas don't
Yeah,
even know about that Radio Shack. That shit had everything, like if you wanted to get started with certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Radio Shack bought my first mic, and it was on from there. You know what I mean?
So my next question is, what was the name of your first CD you recorded in the ninth grade, and
It,
what was the process in recording your first EP in the ninth grade? Like, what was the
it,
name of that first CD you recorded in the ninth grade?
man, that shit was called Showtime.
Showtime.
It's so funny that you say that we bringing this up right now, because my pops just hit me for Thanksgiving and everything, but he was telling me he had sent me a picture of the CD. I was like, you still, how the hell you get a hold
Damn.
of that? That motherfucker vintage.
Man, we might
I'm
have
gonna
to
have to
put
post
that shit up
that shit
on.
online one day or something. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So niggas can see what that shit look like. That shit look terrible, but hey,
So
man,
what was your
you gotta
process in
start
recording
somewhere.
that first EP? What was your process recording your first EP in the ninth grade when you
Uh,
started up? What was
just,
that process like?
just having
Like you was
fun,
going, you was
bro. Just having fun. I ain't really know what I was really. I mean, so by the ninth grade, I mean, I started learning how to pre-mix. So,
mm,
you know what I'm saying? So ninth grade, that's when I probably like learned the basics of pre-mixing. So this shit sounded decent. But the recording process just was all fun, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just was having fun with it around that time. That was still the beginning.
Exactly. So after those beginning stages, you end up linking up with a Miami promoter named Carlos Saavedra.
Saavedra, yep.
Saavedra. How did that take place? Like, how did you meet up with him? Like, tell me how that story went. How did you meet up with him in Miami with that promoter?
Yeah, so major salute to Carlos, man. Carlos, he was the biggest promoter down there at the time, for the all age parties. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still young, so his whole thing was all age parties. So anywhere some shit that was all age that was popping, him and his company was behind that. But it all happened because once I went down to Miami, just being hungry, because I'm like, shit, that's what I'm going for. I gotta make shit shake. So as soon as I got down there, I start calling all the clubs, just calling them like, hey, I'm trying to perform. Shit, well, how do I, you know what I'm saying? And just asking them who the promoters were. Like, hey, who's the promoter behind this? Calling, seeing who the promoters was, and I kept hearing Carlos. So I ended up pulling up on him in person, hollering at him like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Showing him I was serious about my shit. And he told me, he was like, all right, bro, I'm going to put you on. And I was the only main artist besides celebrity. You know what I'm saying? So he believed in me. You know what I'm saying? And so he booked me for every show, every week that he had. We talking about 5,000 people just starting out. So I had to get comfortable quick. You know what I'm saying? But bro believed in me. So he was like, he gave me tickets every show, gave me tickets. Let me see if you can sell these tickets. Put me to the test immediately.
Gotta get that hustle in. Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I just got down to Miami. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I ain't got no fan base. You know what I mean? I'm like, shit, that's how it happened, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Pressure bust pipes. So I'm like, shit, let me make this shit shake. Let me start telling it. You know, I had a couple homies that I already knew. They knew about the music. They believed in it. So they start telling people. Make the long story short, word got around, the shit started gaining traction every show, and I was through the door as far as with Carlos. Like, you know what I'm saying? I made a wave in that all age era.
So who were some of the people that you were performing with when he was booking these events? You say he had some celebrities. Were they A-list celebrities? Like, who were some of these people that you were performing with?
Tiger was the hottest around that time. That year, that was this year. That nigga performed at a couple of them. Wiz, even some Spanish big artists at the time. Joel and Randy, they call themselves. They're like a group. Joel and Randy did their thing. I think who else? Wayne and them did some shit one time at Crew and Y. I opened for them.
That was some
Crew and Y nights and shit. Like, that shit was lavish. Like, his shit was, he was throwing the, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, goddamn, because you throwing all age parties at luxury, damn, nice ass clubs. Like, that shit was nice.
That's that Miami lifestyle. You feel me?
Exactly.
For sure.
Man, I gotta feel of that. And I was like, yeah, this where I was meant to be. You know what I'm saying?
So I know that had to ante up your hustle, like with you being able to sell tickets and stuff like that. Like, how important was that early off in your grind, teaching you to grind, learning on the music game, learning the music industry at that time?
Say it again. What about the ticket?
So with you being able to have that hustle, you know, him giving you the tickets, making them ticket sales, how important was that for you to learn that side of the game? Like, to actually go out there and hustle and get these ticket sales, you know, how important was that for you to learn that side of the game?
Oh, man, that was the first most important thing. And that's why I always appreciate Carlos. Because, like, that was, like, man, that was everything to learn that. Because it was like, I mean, of course I did shows before that, but it wasn't shit. So it's like, learning how to sell tickets, that's a part of like what you got to be able to do as an artist. Like, when you're trying to reach these markets, you know what I'm saying? It just teach you the business fast, because it's like if you can't sell tickets, then niggas ain't trying to pay nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like if you want to get to that cheese, man, you gotta know how to sell the tickets and market yourself, so that way, these promoters will pay you. Because I mean, shit, if you don't know how to sell tickets, they ain't gonna pay nothing.
So I'm assuming when you were selling these tickets, that did help build up your fan base because you're actually interacting with people face to face. So I knew that had to help build your fan base in a way.
Yeah, it's important if you want a real fan base to a certain extent, because it's like, I mean, it's like you gotta start at that ground level. Like even if you sign a deal, they're like, if you can't sell them tickets, yeah, they can put you in these clubs and you can do your thing and you can make money like that too. But your touring, it's important for touring. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you gotta be, when you touring, that's how I go, and that's how I was able to start a tour, because I was selling tickets. You can't really tour like that unless you're selling tickets. You can, but then you gotta open up and all that, which is cool too, because it's all still good. You know what I'm saying? But you want to be able to tour on your own eventually. So I mean, you gotta learn how to grind in this shit, because this shit take a lot of grind, man. Whether you in the streets or everything is technology now, so just learn it online. I mean, shit, it ain't hard. Shit, if you really want it.
Gotcha. So in 2013, you released your first official single, "Stuck Up," which gained over 800 monitor radio spins. Yeah. Looking back on your career, what was going through your mind getting the glimpse of success right then?
That was the first single that got the most traction. I remember my management team at that time, we were so excited because that helped the touring. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we can just hit these cities and be like, hey, that motherfucker on the radio. You know what I'm saying? What we do? So it was dope, because once Stuck Up started gaining its traction, I was able to start getting on the road. So now I'm making plays in Miami, getting some traction, and then now I'm able to hit the road and get that experience. Because this is all while I'm still only like 19, 18, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gaining it early, like I'm picking up on it like, oh yeah, this shit grind, boy. But that was when I started having the most fun, because it's like I love going out of town and vacationing and everything. So I'm like, well shit, now I can do shows, North Carolina, South Carolina, hit them markets. And man, they showed me the most love. But yeah, just getting that, you know, on the road experience. So yeah.
So I know building up that exposure and doing these shows, what stuck out to you most doing these shows? Like, what did you learn from, you know, opening up, you know, and building your own name up in different cities? Like, what did you learn from that experience doing shows and building your name up after you got that exposure, especially on radio? Mm-hmm. Like, how key was that?
Being able to touch the people, bro. Like that shit feel good, man. It's like a how can I say it? It's just like that extra push, that extra seal of approval, because it's like
motivation.
Okay, I know people feeling it now, because you know what I'm saying, it's on the radio, people requesting it. I'm feeling love here and there, starting out, but then it's like that's like the extra stamp of approval when you go out and you get that energy to touch the people, you know what I'm saying? And then that'll kind of just, I can't explain it, bro. It's just a certain feeling where it's like, okay, yeah, this is what you was supposed to be doing.
Facts. So in 2015, you follow up with the sequel, I'm So Major 2, which surpassed 160,000, you know what I'm saying, streams, hosted by DJ Smalls and the late Slim Duncan. What did this moment mean to you? Also, how did you meet DJ Smalls?
Man, so now first we said my first single that took off, and then I'm So Major 2, bro. That
you
was
followed up the sequel.
Yeah,
I'm so
because I I'm So Major around the time I put out Stuck Up. That was on I'm So Major. So I'm So
Right.
Major, that's still getting my feet wet. And then I'm So Major 2 was the one, bro. Me and Smalls, I met Smalls at a mall at Aventura Mall. You
Oh,
probably know
okay.
Aventura Mall.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
I met
bruh.
Smalls ass in the food court. I seen him in
Right.
the food
Oh,
court while I
that's when
was
they did
leaving.
have a food court. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I seen him in the food court while I was leaving. I'm like, oh, what up, bro? And I don't know if he knew me or not because he was acting like it, but I'm like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm Major D Star. I'm from Detroit, but I'm in Miami, bro. Let's do a project. He was like, all right, bet. We exchanged info. And then even though we didn't do it right away at that time, I just kept in touch with him. Like, I'm going to hit you when the time right type shit. Every once in a while, just tap in. Hey, bro, how you doing? We still going to make it happen, basically. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so I told him, but I was already kind of telling them the plan as we was going on within the communication. Like, it's going to be for this project with Cuz, this and that. And then so that's how I linked with Smalls. So major salute to Smalls. That's my guy. I did an interview with him recently. I think it was about a year ago, something like that.
Yeah, he a well-known DJ out here for sure.
Yeah, because he got his podcast as well. So major salute, shout out to him. And then what was the other part of your question, bro?
I say, what did this moment mean to you when you surpassed your last album? Like, it's like you constantly elevating it with all the tracks you get. You constantly elevating every time you dropping something. So, what did this mean to you? You know, once you surpassed your last album.
That project meant everything, bro. That's a classic right there. So like I took my sweet time with that project, boy. Like I was working on that project for like at least 2 years. That shit got so much music on it. I don't even remember how many songs there had on that movie. It was about like 30 something. Some shit
Right.
like that. So because that's when I believed that you're supposed to put out. I wanted to show that I was a versatile artist. So
Right.
I wanted to fill the whole project up with every type of joint to let niggas know, like, yeah, I'm gonna give you 30 something of these motherfuckers, so you can't deny the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was my whole mindset when I went into that, and it was everything, bro, because I got to really show my versatility as an artist. I feel like I filled all the boxes on that, and I got to do it with Cuz, Rip Dunk. You know what I'm saying? My angel, I got to do it with Cuz, so that shit meant everything. And then it was like, it was all in that time frame where it was a lot of shit going on. Shit was starting to bubble in the A. So I was starting to go back and forth to the A. It just was so much happening. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? This is my time to really put, hopefully, what I wanted to put, which is one of my best projects.
Exactly. So who is Slim Duncan 1017? Who is that? And what
That's
does he
my
mean
cousin.
to you?
That's my cousin.
Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, that's my
Let me know
cousin.
a little bit about Slim Duncan.
Say it again.
Let me know a little bit about Slim Duncan and how did he impact your career and what did he mean to you? You know, that way we keep him alive. You feel me?
Yes, sirski. So Dunk was doing this thing down here in Atlanta at the time with Walker and Brick Squad. That's why he had the 1017 on there. And man, and they was just going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was just starting to make my moves, and the whole plan was for me, Cuz, and one of my other cousins that rap too. The whole plan was for me to go here, him go here, and then other cuz stay in Detroit. So
Right.
Dunk down here to the A. He linked with Walker, Gucci, all them, and shit. And Gucci was already on his run, so that shit
Right.
kind of just, you know what I'm saying, all came together like, you know what I'm saying? It was just love, you know what I mean? So Dunk, he was just on fire in the A, you know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
was just
Right.
starting to do my thing in Miami, so we like, shit, let's make shit happen. So, because Dunk wasn't even rapping at the time. He like, shit, should I rap or not? Hell yeah.
Right.
If the opportunity, because he already was saying that the opportunity was presenting itself, like, shit, you know, Walker doing Walker about to start rapping. Should I rap? Hell yeah, nigga, why not? This shit running the blood. So
Exactly.
when Dunk caught fire, that was the whole plan, was for us to just all come together and, you know, provide something for the family. And you know, unfortunately, Dunk lost his life down here, bro. But the A showed him hella love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Atlanta was definitely, he felt home in Atlanta. So it's always been love in Atlanta. So now I'm in Atlanta, shit. You know what I mean?
Heard. And also another person who you have, Chris, that was dear to you. What impact did he play in your career? You know, long live Chris. Like, let's talk about Chris for a second. Let's keep his name alive.
Yeah.
Who is he and what impact did he play in your career?
Yeah, so
For sure.
Chris was my other cousin that we lost probably like I think it was a year before we lost Dunk. So Chris, he just was hella supportive, and he babysat me when I was a kid, so we had like a close connection, even though Cuz was probably like, yeah, almost, he probably like 8 years older than me, some shit, but I still got to hang with him at that young age, like growing up, when I used to go back and forth from Miami back home. And yeah, Chris just he had he always have an important place in my heart because he babysat me and took care of me when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying, watched me and stuff like that. So I was just talking about him the other day too for Thanksgiving and everything. So, but
Right.
This was my dog. Like, he was, him and Duncan babysat me when I was a baby. So
both of them was your cousins then?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So what it was like your mom and they mom? What you had?
On my dad.
Your mom had?
On my
your dad. Okay.
On my cousin, on my dad's side. Yep.
So when you moved to Miami, did both of the boys come down there?
They was my oldest cousins. Like, my other cousins are only just a little bit older than me and younger. So
your ethnic background, like what is your ethnic background? Because you could come off of Spanish.
Yeah.
A lot of people tell me that.
I'm black.
You moving to Miami, I know they was like, man, what is he? Is he Dominican? Is he like, bro? I know you had to get a lot of that. Like, what is your ethnic background, bro?
Listen,
so that we could know.
Listen. That's when I started hearing that shit. I was taking that shit personal at first. I never heard that shit before. You gotta remember, just growing up in Detroit, when you see a nigga that look like me, you know he from the D. He black, he from the D. Niggas ain't questioning if you Spanish or not. It's not too many Spanish people. It was only black people. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker damn near 100% black.
Yeah.
So like, shit. When I went down to Miami, motherfuckers start saying like, "Oh, is you Puerto Rican?" This and that. I'll take that shit personal at first. I'm like, man, what is these niggas on, bro? These niggas trying me. I'm young, so I ain't really thinking.
Yeah.
You know, but this all love. I started realizing, like, niggas start telling me like, no, bro, you know, this is how it's hell of them down there. So I started understanding. But yeah,
I got that a lot.
It's just black, bro. Like I say, bloodline really come from Memphis, and we just migrated to Detroit. My grandparents and them back in the day. So that's it.
For sure.
Ain't too many Spanish motherfuckers to be like that. You know.
See, while you was getting, I'm from Miami, so I'm like, hold on, I gotta ask him. You feel me? Because I got this a lot growing up too. You know.
So like you could.
I could be mixed
too, nigga.
Yeah. They were like, damn, is this the seed or what? I'm black. So
you could be able to tell by days, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? Nigga go there, I got the days on. I'm thinking they know. I'm like, but it's
they gonna ask. They most definitely gonna ask. They want to know if they can speak Spanish around you or not. You feel me? Like, hey, do we understand? Like, you know. They be talking their shit, man. So in 2015, you followed up with the sequel, and then you went viral with 2 hit singles, Nard B and Dreams of Being Rich, in which you gained over 400,000 streams. Who produced those records, and what went into the promotion of those records, of those 2 hit singles? That's what I want to know. Because now it's like you really own to something.
Yeah.
Like, this is about luck. Like, people don't just top these numbers like that. Some people, once they drop, their numbers fall. It's like your numbers are still climbing. So what went into the promotion of those 2 hit singles, and who produced those records? Right?
Okay, so
Rather Be and Dreams of Being Rich.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Rather Be was produced by my homie D Money, out of North Carolina. That's how I linked with him, going to North Carolina. And he's a very dope producer that's very versatile, but making the sound like me. When me and him link up, it's an automatic. Like every time. Like that's one of my main producers. So we still making music to this day. We always got at least a joint or 2 on the project. So major salute to my homie D Money that did Rather Be. That motherfucker was out of there. You know what I'm saying? We still eating off that one. So,
right.
So that
so whatever it gold, that one had to hit gold then, huh?
Man, shit. It should be almost there.
Yeah.
It should be almost there.
So we're gonna be getting a plaque on that one soon then.
Yeah, that's coming.
For sure.
And so that, but you know, because we was talking about projects, I'm So Major 2 was my first big moment on projects. And then even though we had Stuck Up, Rather Be was the one that went. Like that motherfucker was automatically, like niggas was pushing that just organically. Right. We ain't even had to put that much. Like once we put a bag up for marketing, it was like we ain't had to do it no more. That shit just went off on its own. And then you said Dreams of Being Rich, right?
Yeah.
I think we followed
Dreams of Being Rich. Yeah.
That one was monumental too. That's a classic too, because then I went back to the D to do the visual for that, straight to the nitty gritty as far as one of the neighborhoods we grew up in on Joy Road, and did the video. That shit was one of a kind. But yeah, Dreams of Being Rich was produced by my homies Nard B out here in Atlanta. We still locked in as well. They done did a lot of shit for a lot of artists.
I got a question for Nard. We gonna save that for later. And then you got Nard B. So he did production on that record. Yeah,
that's a group. You got Nard and you got B.
That's B. Yeah, Nard and B. Yeah.
Yeah, they 2 producers. Yep, they a group. Yep, they down here in the A making noise.
Got you. So you still gaining momentum. Your success is still reaching new heights. So now you're getting into sponsorships, and people want to sponsor you.
Right.
So how did you gain sponsorships with Pelly?
Okay, so Pelly, man, major salute, bro. I still got good relationships with with everybody, because I always did good business. So, man, major salute to Pelly. They came in when I released my second street single called No Fly Zone.
Yeah.
That's when we had the No Fly Zone and rule in the D. Shout out to the OG Trick.
I just put to say Trick.
He put that in place. Man, I'm like, bro, I gotta make a song about this shit. Man, They love that shit. The No Fly Zone start making noise in the D. We pushed it on the radio a little bit in the D too for a little while. So, and did the video in the D as well on the damn runway and everything. So that was dope too. And that's when Pelly came into play. They recognized me from that song No Fly Zone, and they was like, we want to sponsor you, we're gonna send you some stuff. They showed me the coats and everything they was sending, because they was like, we want to be a part of the video. So they hit me up once they heard the song, and then that's when they sent the coats for the video, and we did the sponsorship, and ever since it's been all love since. So I still got a good relationship with my people over at Pelly. They got a couple people.
That's dope. So another sponsorship that stood out was Donna Sachs. How did you gain that sponsorship with Donna Sachs? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, was around the same time because Donna Sex is based from the D2. They based from the crib. So basically, I was going back and forth. I think I wasn't even in Miami at the time. I was in damn, where was I? I was moving around so much at that time, bro. I think I was still in Florida though, for sure.
Yeah.
But I just was going back home to promote the record. And that was the same record. Donna Sex hit me up around the same time. And I met the owner Marvin.
Yeah.
Linked with him, had a meeting with him, and they told me the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We want you to showcase our products, model them, like do a couple photo shoots in them. So we made it happen. Shout out to Donna Sex. They out there in the D. They still active and running too.
So I'm seeing a little trend here. I see everybody from Detroit hitting you up. So then you gained another sponsorship with Ink Detroit. It's like, so you move. It's like Detroit just calling you right now. It's like, man. So how did you get that sponsorship with Ink Detroit? Like, it's like right now you move. You got momentum going. Everybody hitting your line up. They see the single.
That was all around the same time. No Fly Zone era. That shit.
Oh, okay.
It was because Ink Detroit is obviously based out of Detroit too.
Right.
No Fly Zone was making noise in the city, so that's why the Midwest. Because even Pelly Pelly, a lot of them from the Midwest too. So that's why all the Midwest connections started making sense and happening because No Fly Zone was ringing off in the Midwest, and we even played No Fly Zone in Cali too. They was playing that shit on the radio in Cali, and
so they was telling you out west too.
Yeah, out west and overseas. Like that might have been my biggest street single because I was surprised that like how organic that was moving too. Because I really only was doing that for the city. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people related to it and fucked with it. So I was like, well, shit, let's ride this wave.
I know Trick had to probably reach out to you once you made that. Like, did you have that home support? So how did that come about?
Yeah, they spent it a few times on his podcast. He ended up doing a podcast, and they was calling the show No Fly Zone Radio. So the show had I think they call it something else now, but I think they still got that segment on there. And it was like a segment of the show where they would play the joint. So that was all love too. I mean, Unc always been a big supporter. If you know what I'm saying, you repping the city and you show
exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's all the No Fly Zone rule was to do, because a lot of people got it misconstrued. You know, the No Fly Zone rule was just like, just make sure you show niggas love, tap in.
Exactly.
You ain't gotta go out your way and do none of that. Just you can't just be going there and not saying shit to nobody though. Just going through the PR and that's it. Like you gotta at least show love. That's all it was about.
And that's real talk. Being from the streets, anybody from the streets know that.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta go in. You gotta tap in with the people that's from the hood. You know, from the neighborhood. You know, you can't just be going around and not. It's like not knocking on the door and just walking to somebody's house. You feel me?
Exactly. That's
no respect.
You ain't gotta do the most. You know what I'm saying? That's why him and Ross just recently squashed that shit, because it's like. It wasn't really that serious, nigga. All you gotta do is just holler at a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Show some type of love. It gotta be something there, though. You can't be walking around that bitch like you damn. You
big. Like you got to network with the people that's around there.
Yeah.
Show love. Put money back into the city. Don't just try to take money out the city. You got to put money back into the city. That's all about That's networking 101 for sure. Any city you go in. So I did that. So you launched your own music group, First Flight Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a two-part question. How did you come up with the name, and how did the whole music group thing come about? Like,
okay. So First Flight, I came up with that name a while ago. I was gonna use it for a clothing line.
Yeah.
But I never used it for the clothing line, so I was like, well, shit, it either sound like a clothing line or a music group. And I had some of my other fellow homies and everything around that could do music as well. So I'm like, shit, I always wanted to start a music group or a label. And I'm like, starting a music group would be the first step for me to get my feet wet with that and see how that worked. You know what I'm saying? Manage a couple artists. Let me see how that worked, how that side of the business works. Because it's helping me.
Right.
I know in the future as well when I'm dealing with all these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So shit.
Exactly.
I wanted to know that side of the business, and I always just wanted to provide people an opportunity as well to do their thing. You know what I'm saying? So, if they was talented, so I started the music group First Flight Entertainment, and a lot of artists basically. I signed artists from different regions. Like one artist was from New York, one artist was from Chicago. One artist was from Miami because we was already linked up. Well, actually, it was the artist from Miami and the DJ. So I basically just signed artists from different regions that I really fucked with, and they ain't have no opportunities. They didn't know the business, nothing. I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I want to be able to teach this shit to somebody else. Like, I ain't the type of nigga that keep the game from the homies if I see that they passionate about it too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the type of nigga that, you know, share the love. So I'm like, hey, you know, so I provided the opportunity for that for First Flight. We did a project, put it out on live mixtapes. That did numbers. It did well. And, you know, and shit. And I had my first music group.
Salute for that. So now you starting to learn the business. Then you started your own label, Driven Music, in 2020. So this is another two-part question. How did you come up with the name of that? Also, why did you decide to start your own label after starting the entertainment company? Before that, the music group.
Driven Music was like just being driven for success. That's where that came from, just being driven to succeed no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter the obstacles, no matter what anybody else think, just knowing, just having that vision and knowing like you got to be driven to get it. Like anything you want to do, that's how you got to be. So that's where I got the name from. And I mean, when it come to Driven, it just was all about just taking it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I know how to run a music group. Let me start a label. Let me start learning that, because now that's when it get a little more technical and everything. So,
right.
And that was a blessing too, because I started that with that was like a family thing. I got that, you know what I'm saying? I got it tatted on me right there.
Facts.
That's basically family business. That's what it was. Like, okay, I'm gonna do something. Well, I'm gonna start a label, but I want to have the family involved. That's what that was. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can start learning, and at the same time, hopefully, I can provide family members a job as well or an opportunity to help, even if they don't do music. Let them learn the business too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Driven was. So you know what I'm saying?
So now you got Driven Music, and then you continue to have more success. Was Major Pain released under Driven Music?
Yeah, well, not Major Pain, but the Major Pain Deluxe was released under Driven. Yeah,
okay, that was okay. We got that. So you got Major Pain that surpassed 600,000 streams. What was the thought process creating Major Pain, and what was the budget for this project right here? Because so now this is
go ahead.
Yeah, this is even bigger than the last one now.
Yeah, Major Pain was that was basically like chapter 2 of I'm So Major. It's like, okay, what's gonna be the next story? Now I gotta start telling people what come with this shit. Like, okay, now I gotta start putting the story to this shit, because I was giving them the story little by little, but like now I gotta start telling them it ain't all glitz and glamour in this shit. Like, you need to know, you know what I'm saying, what come with this shit. So that's how I came up with the Major Pain. And of course, you know, you got the movie too, but I just twisted the storyline my way. Like, okay, let me tell you
Right.
what comes with this music business too. Like, don't think this shit just glitz and glamour. This shit, you know, it get a little snaky too. So that's when I had records like Third Eye on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I started off with the intro, Major Pain, Catch Me If I Fall on there. Like, just a lot of records that people never heard. Like, this, not basically the side that they haven't heard from me yet as an artist. Like, now I need to start going and like giving more substance in my shit. You know what I mean? So that's when I started, you know, hitting the surfaces. You know what I mean? With that,
I like something what you said, dude. That something what you said stuck out. But I have another question about Major Pain and the deluxe after this. But you said there was a lot of snaky shit going on in the industry, and a lot of people say that the music industry is worse than the dope game. You know, and with shit that's going on, because you know how they gonna do you. You won't even see it coming, and this is all legal shit. What they do, they can fuck you over legally. So. What was some of the snake moves? We ain't gotta say no names, you know, but like what was some snake shit that was going on just during your career that you realized?
Just the contracts and shit, bro. Like, and then people like backdooring you too. Like, you know, sometimes you will have niggas that, you know, they ain't trying to pay the back end, or it just niggas be like, you never know what to expect. But most of the time, it's in the
some janky promoters.
Yeah, you got, most of the time it's either janky promoters that you will come across every blue moon, and then or it's just the contracts. It's always in the fine print somewhere where they trying to take a bigger percent, or they using words you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Now you need an entertainment lawyer or some other shit. So they got ways of doing this shit. I know y'all see Drake going through this shit, and he one of the biggest artists. So if that nigga going through it, you know it's in everybody's shit.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that. Real shit. If the biggest artist going through it, anybody could go through it. That's facts.
And
so you also,
the biggest artist, the only one they let slide was motherfucking Taylor Swift, nigga. This the hip hop industry, not the damn pop. So
right.
Yeah.
It's two different worlds.
Yes, sir.
So let's go into this deluxe package now. So you also had a deluxe version of Major Pain. With major production credits as well. How did you build a relationship with Cash Money AP off that production with Major Pain?
Oh man, me and Cash Money AP, that was like a DM exchange. Always fucked with Cash Money AP, like his style. I felt like his style would blend and or mesh perfectly with mine. So I actually reached out to AP. Like, we was liking each other posts, and then I just reached out like, shit. Man, I think our shit would mesh perfectly, and shit. That all it took was for us to do one record, and shit. That shit came together so natural and so genuine. It was like, bruh, we got.
So y'all was in the studio together with that one? But you recorded that one?
No, this one was literally just from studio to studio. We ain't even got together in the studio yet, me and Cash. I know that's gonna be crazy when that happens.
So another person you had
energy that's as passionate is me, you know what I'm saying?
Facts. And another person you had on that deluxe version as a production credit is Young Lane.
Yeah, the Young Land. Yep.
Young Land. Okay, my bad. Sorry about that. how did you build that relationship with Young Land? Like, how did that come about with him?
Young Land been doing his thing in the game. He been doing his thing in the game. That was the same thing, a DM. That time Land hit me up, and it's been all love, bro. Like, his shit is probably like he was coming up around the same time as Cash Money AP.
Yeah.
So all that was happening around the same time too. Like, that shit happened like within months, and I was like, and that's how I knew it was just like everything always aligned when it's supposed to. That's when I figured that out. Like, it was like, damn, because they both was kind of coming up around the same time, and I used to hear Land doing beats for a lot of motherfuckers too. So it was like, yeah, everything aligned. That's what, you know what I'm saying, kind of certified that for me too.
So another person you got connected with, which we mentioned earlier in the interview, was Nard B.
Mm-hmm.
They also was on this this project, one of your biggest projects, Major Pain.
Yeah.
How did you build that relationship with Nard B? This is the one I really wanted to hear about with Nard B. Like, how did you get that relationship built with them? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, that was when I was coming back and forth to the A. When I first started coming back and forth to the A with Cuz. So that was early on, because Nard B was on I'm So Major too. So that was during that time. I probably met them like right before Small, and that was at a listening party. I can't remember who listening party it was. It was somebody listening party. They was in there. I know they had around that time. That was when I linked with them. It was right before March. Was that March Madness or it was either right before March Madness or it was another record Future had, but I really got put on from them from Future. It wasn't Future listening party, but he was there though. And
for sure,
Nard B, around that time, Nard B was like some of the hottest niggas in the A as far as coming up. So it only made sense for me to network with them. My PR had invited me out to an event at the time, and that's when me and Nard B linked up.
And what record that was that they produced on this one right here? Because they on your second project. So what record did they produce on Major Pain?
Major Pain. Yeah, let me. I had to see, man. I got something. No, I linked with Nard B earlier than Major Pain. That's what I was saying. I linked with them.
Yeah, I know.
Major too.
Yeah, you did.
On I know we did All Hype. They did All Hype. No, actually, you know what? I had them on I'm So Major too, but they actually the first song we had was on my project Trap Star, if I'm not mistaken, which was before. It might have been, man. Me and Nard B got a lot of joints, bro. But I think the first joint me and Nard B did was Dreams of Being Rich, I think.
Gotcha. And then
so we really started out on the I did a single with Nard B. And then that's when they ended up doing like 4 records on the project after that. After they heard that Dreams of Being Rich, they were sold on.
Gotcha. So how did you meet D Money? How did that come about?
D Money,
with D Money
on the road going to North Carolina when I first started touring from Miami. That's when I met D Money touring to North Carolina when we was on the road.
Heard.
And I
salute to everybody who watching.
He was at the studio. That was after Stuck Up, so I was working on I'm So Major at the time, and so that's when we were like, okay, I was wrapping it up, so I'm like, next project I'm So Major 2, I need you on there, and it was all set from there.
And from what I'm seeing, you was networking your ass off.
Like, yeah, you got to. That's everything.
Build all these relationships over the time and get all these projects done. That shows how hard you out here working. Like, people got to realize you're not going to get nowhere without network.
At all, bro. Network.
Got to build these relationships.
Yeah, you gotta
Exactly.
build a relationship, do good business, and make sure you got your shit together. You always gotta stay ready.
And then the last person I wanted to talk about was Perps. How did you meet Perps, and what song did he help produce?
Perps was out of 808 Mafia, so Perps family, man, that's squad.
Yeah,
Perps,
yeah,
Perps was coming up at the time with Sizzle, with Southside. That's how I met Perps. I met Perps at the studio too, just being with Cuz, and they was working on shit, and Southside was there, and Southside wanted to start a beat team, so he started 808 Mafia, and Perps, if I'm not mistaken, Perps might have been like the second nigga he signed, but he found Perps. You know what I'm saying? Perps just was in the studio, but he found that nigga in one of these damn, because I don't think he's from the A. But yeah, Perps was with 808 Mafia, and ever since we linked on at the studio, it was the same thing. He sent me a pack of beats. I told him we chopped it up at the studio. I'm like, shit, bro, I need a pack of beats, man, because that's what Southside was doing at the studio. He was going through the
yeah.
whole team of beats, so he wasn't just playing his shit. He was playing Perp shit. He was playing uh, TM 808 shit. He was playing all the team of producers, like showing the different styles and shit. And I heard Perp shit, and I was like, this shit different. Like, it
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
just the trap sound. It's like the way he blend the other shit with the trap was just like, I ain't never heard no shit like that before. And I wanted to test myself as an artist. So I'm like, nigga, I need a pack. That nigga sent me a beat pack. Like, it was probably like 6 beats.
yeah. And the rest is
And
history.
I used, huh?
I say the rest is history after that.
The
Shit.
rest is history, bro. Cause like, it's like a lot of these producers that was doing their thing. It's like, as soon as we locked in, I knew it was go time. So I was like, these niggas got to approve of every record. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them hearing some shit and they like, oh, like no, the nigga, like we gotta lock in. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be like, I don't want to just be for right now if it was single or just on this project. I want to be able to lock in for future projects as well. So
Facts, facts, facts. So what made you start up your own clothing line? You got Team Major. I believe that's the hat that you got on right now.
yes,
You can
sir.
also find that on your website as well.
Yeah.
And then you got Spiritual Awakening, which we're gonna talk about that, your new project. What made you start up your own clothing line? Like what was your thought process into that with the merch?
Yeah. So I always wanted to have my own merch. I should have really been had it because it was a demand on it early, but
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure it was right. So I just took my time with it. I had the Team Major shit been in motion since the Twitter days with all the team this, team that shit. So I like my fans and shit, they used to tweet me on Twitter. They used to just put the hashtag King Major. I was like, shit, I'm gonna run with that. So
right.
me wanting to already start the merch, I'm like, shit, as soon as the time right, you know, it's like everything else. It'll just align, it'll come to me like, hey, I need to do it right now. Cause once I feel like I need to do some shit right then and there, that's when the time right. So the merch, man, it was just like once it was time to go, it's time to go. I'm like, shit, I think I should call the shit Team Major. You just sound dope for the merch. So once I got the brand, the logo drafted up, everything drafted up, it was like, shit, time to go. Once I had, you know, the drop shipping, all that type of shit, I got a
Yeah,
team for it. And they based out of North Carolina too, man. Shout out to North Carolina, bro. It's all love, man. Out there in Charlotte.
shout out to North Carolina. So what inspired you to be a musician? What was it that inspired you to be a musician?
Oh man, that shit just was a feeling, bro. It was just that feeling from God, bro. That shit just, like I said, that time when I was 6 years old, and I never forget because I was looking in the stars when it came, and so I was just looking up at the stars, and that shit just came to me. It was just like a feeling from God, where it's like, and because I was listening to Biggie, and for some reason, it's something about that with Biggie, like the way he did his shit, his flows, just the way he put together everything. It just was something about it. So I never forget. I was listening to Biggie, looking at the stars, and the feeling came to me, and it was like, this is what I meant to do. It just was a certain feeling that I always wanted, and every time, once I started doing music, that's when the feeling kept coming back, and I'm like, yep, that was
Facts.
it.
So, do you have any artists from Detroit that you feel was influenced from your area to your music career? Any Detroit artists that you like?
Yeah, for sure. The first Detroit artist that was on the type of shit I was on was called the Lodge Boys. The Lodge Boys was going crazy at that time, and the way they was doing they shit was like some type of shit that I would be on. Like, okay, if I was to, you know what I'm saying, be on the way from the city, this is what I'd be on. So like, this is what my shit would sound like. So
yeah,
and that's what it was sounding like at the time. So the Lodge Boys was a heavy influence. KDZ, man, it was a lot of niggas doing their thing. That was right after the Blade era, but the Lodge Boys was them niggas though. And a lot of niggas asleep on the Lodge Boys.
I'm gonna have to most definitely look them up and check them out. The Lodge Boys.
Dude, them niggas went crazy, bro.
So I want to get into your new project that you have out currently called Spiritual Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, y'all got to check this album out. You got 11 tracks on there. How did you come up with that concept for spiritual awakening? How did you come up with that concept for this new project right here that you got out right now?
Spiritual Awakening, bro. That's a personal growth project. You know what I'm saying? So that's not only just for hip hop, but even though it mostly is hip hop, it was about me growing as a person. You know what I'm saying? And showing people that side of a nigga, like while I'm having my personal growth, man. But that's really what that was. It was like once I had a spiritual awakening a few years ago, and I just always knew, like, okay, as I'm growing as a person, music is my therapy. So I want to be able to to show people that, you know what I'm saying, to show them that it's more than music. You know what I mean? So that's what spiritual awakening was about, like showing people like it's more than music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I seen on the album cover you had a pyramid. I was like, is he in the Egyptian mythology? Like, you know. Like this got to be some deep thought in this. So with the album cover, like, what is the meaning behind the album cover with the pyramid? And you know, you got the name of the album, Spiritual Awakening. Is that something that came from your ancestors? Like, what was your thought process on that? Like, what does that mean? I know it has to have a deep meaning.
It all got to do with our ancestors, where we come from, man. Just knowing that, like, man, the pyramids, it's just something about the pyramids that always kind of like, I always wanted to go to Egypt. Like, that's one of the places I always wanted to visit, Egypt and Hawaii. But, man, the pyramids of Giza, bro, like, it's a big deal, man. People don't know, like, that shit is from our ancestors and all that. So that was like the main thing of showing the pyramids. Like, our ancestors built this, and it really is a spiritual thing. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that it's a higher power and you could do whatever you put your mind to for real.
Exactly. That's dope. That's dope. I'm feeling that. That's deep. So my next question about your project is how did you come up with the concept for the song What You Want?
Oh, man.
That was a dope.
Man,
that was dope right there.
I'm trying to ask these bitches what they want from a nigga like DMX, man.
Yeah.
You know
for sure.
That's where the idea came from, man. Rest in peace to DMX. What you want from a nigga I just found myself questioning that shit to myself one night into, you know what I'm saying, a little shouty. So it was like, man, that was I think I did that record soon as I got down, soon as I touched down in the A, as far as like soon as I got a place down here.
Yeah.
Like I say, the inspiration came from DMX. And shit, when that shit hit me, I went in the studio immediately and did that shit. I'm like, yeah, I gotta lay this hook. Like, as soon as that shit came to me, I'm like, I gotta lay this down right now. I know this going.
That was dope. I liked that one. Then you got Love Me or Not. What is this song actually about? Is this based on a true story? Love Me or Not? Because I felt like it was based on some real shit. Like when I was listening to it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's one of my favorite songs on there, for real.
Yeah,
like, I feel passion on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Like, what is this song actually about? Or should I say, who is it actually about? But most definitely, I feel like you were talking to somebody on that song right there, Love Me or Not.
Yeah. Man, that actually, like, it's on the same tip of, like, what you want. Like, as far as, like, I did that record, like, not around that time. Well, it was, like, probably, like, maybe, like, 4 months after What You Want. But Love Me or Not, man, it just come from, like, that one was just, like, it definitely was based on a true situation. Man, you know, when you live in this lifestyle, bro, I mean, not to say I'm living, you know, this just top tier lifestyle, but when you, and also when you carrying yourself a certain way, or you know, like, where your mindset is at, like what you want from a woman, it's like, and you mature too, because I'm a little older now. From, like, as I grow older, I'm starting to realize certain shit. So it's like, hey, this shit got to be 100. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even as a friend, you know what I'm saying? Because when I meet women, that's what I'm thinking when I first meet them. Like, can we be friends first? Because if we can't be friends, if I can't trust you, your ass is great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta at least have the trust factor. Gotta at least be there. And so when you got women that's like, I ain't gonna get too deep with it, but basically, it's just like, you love me or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Because it gotta at least be, like I said, like a real friendship, love. At least the shit gotta be 100 for me to just be rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? If I can't,
you gotta be with me for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons, basically.
Exactly. It's simple.
And sometimes people expose their hand over time. Yeah. And that could be a spiritual awakening as well, like the title says. Most definitely. When you're dealing with these females, sometimes you have to put yourself first, and you got to just, you know, instead of chasing these females, you got to go with who like you at some time. Yeah. Because what you like might not be what's best for you, you know?
Exactly. And it's like, I'm the type of nigga where it's like, you know, I mean, it's like, shit, do you love me or not? Because it's like, I just got to make sure the shit at least genuine. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, let's just cut straight to the chase if this is what we doing. Because you got people that'll just tell you they love you. They'll just say it. I'm not the type of nigga that just tell somebody that I love you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a damn who you is. I ain't the type of nigga to just tell somebody I love you unless I mean it. So you know how some of these women, they'll just tell you, hey, I love you. Man, but, hey, you can't just be telling me that. You know what I'm saying? Some people just use the word, but they don't really mean that shit. Like,
that's real talk.
You love me or not, for real.
And I feel you on that, because a lot of people going through a lot of mental health issues and stuff like that, and when you're dealing with a relationship and with people, you know, that can also hinder that and hinder your growth. Sometimes you got to cut people off, and you won't know if somebody really with you until you really go through something. So over time, you know, you like, damn, okay, you know, I thought you was really, really down, but okay, from this situation that happened, I see that you ain't really down. So sometimes you need to go through them growing pains with a person just to really realize if they really in love with you or not. Because soon as something goes bad, people eject real quick, and then you next thing you know, the situation not even that no more, but all it took was that situation to reveal who they truly were. You know? So I'm most definitely feeling you on that. So you also you actually have 3 features on this project, which I would like to dive in. Let's talk about your song Manifestation featuring Pedaro. How did that collaboration come about?
In the studio. Most of every feature on this project, on Spiritual Awakening, I met all the singers in the studio.
Okay.
So down here in the A, and we just locked in. Like, as soon as I heard their voice, I knew they had it for the project. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I wrote everything, but of course, you know what I'm saying? Some records, as an artist, you got to know when to let the singer do their job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some niggas be trying to do the most and just, you know what I'm saying? Auto-tune they shit till you can't no more.
Right,
Some shit, I'm like,
right.
I know the records to do that, you know what I'm saying? But then some records, I wanted motherfuckers like with Manifestation, I wanted you to feel this shit from the soul. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I can definitely do the writing, no problem, but I need the perfect singer with the perfect voice to, you know what I mean? So and my engineer recommended a lot of the singers on the project, so it's only right.
Yeah, you have a feature also on the project with June B.
Yep.
No Excuses.
Yep.
I like that track as well. What was your thought process in that? No Excuses on that track. Explain that track.
Exactly what it is, bro. No excuses. Like, we've been a lot of the time, you know what I'm saying, for the interview, like, well, you know, as far as the beginning of the interview, like we made the shit clear. Is like, as far as like this shit take grind, you can't have no excuses, bro. Because if I like, just thinking back now, bro, like if I was the type of nigga that always had, I'd never been that type of nigga, so it wasn't hard for me. But I know
I feel you on that.
Yeah, but it's like it's plenty people out here that make excuses instead of just doing the shit. It's like you make excuses, bro. You ain't gonna never get the shit done. It ain't shit gonna happen, bro. You gotta get out here and make it shake. So I like no excuses was like, even thinking now, all the shit we've been talking about, it's like if I would have just made the little excuses during them times, because when you on the come up, that's when you gotta grind the hardest, because you don't know nobody. So you gotta make some shit shake out of nothing. You feel me? And if you got the littlest bit of excuses, if you making more than 2-3 excuses, nigga, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Nigga, you gotta move on. You can't deal with that.
Yep.
That's real talk. Now, I really like the album and your concepts. Most definitely your delivery. So the next song that you had a feature on was called For Granted / Move On, featuring Deja.
Yep.
Like, let's talk about that, for granted. Like, when people take you for granted, you know, and then, like I say, / Move On. So we already know you talking about 2 things. So explain that. You like how somebody can take you for granted, and then what's the thought process like when you know it's time to move on from that situation?
Bro, when a motherfucker take you for granted, you gotta move on. I had to put them together because them really 2 separate songs.
Right.
I did them both back-to-back nights because I had both ideas in my head. But it all started from the For Granted. It's just like motherfuckers take people for granted and don't even know it, man. Like, it's the same thing as far as the love. Like, you got to make sure the shit felt, because if you taking a nigga like me for granted, man, nigga, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much just self-explanatory, bro. It's like, you can't take a motherfucker for granted who constantly there for you, show love, make sure you feel that they showing love. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much self-explanatory, but it all these, every song on Spiritual Awakening stems from real stories. Like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
could tell.
These is all real situations that happen, and you could tell, like, as I'm evolving throughout life, like, that's like a thing when you get, as you mature and getting older, you know when somebody taking you for granted, because, like,
Exactly.
it'll be a pattern, you know what I'm saying? But it all come with, it's what come with it, you know what I'm saying? So you just charge it to the game, man.
Now, also, I like the sample for Love Language. That one right there, I ain't gonna lie.
That's that
I
D
like
money,
Love
man.
Language
That's
like
that me and D money. That
I
motherfucker
like that Love
automatically.
Language out of all of them. Like, but that's most definitely a hit to me out of all the tracks I listened to on the
Yeah, that's that.
on
It's
the
the club joint. Yep.
on
Yep.
Spiritual Awakening. Like, bruh,
Love language.
for real,
That's all around the same thing. That's why I put a
that
lot of that.
sample like brought me back. You heard me?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
That
shit
love
was
language,
hard,
bro.
bruh.
That shit,
That
man.
shit was hard.
Yeah, and that come from like me really like man. It's like when I'm talking about the love language. It's like me and D Money. It's all like I say. It's always an automatic hit off the bat. But it's like with Love Language, I wanted to have fun with it too. I didn't want
Yeah,
to do that one like move on to where it's too R&B. I wanted to have that. I wanted it to go with the sample, where it's like let's have fun with this shit. I already know when we throw that in the club,
that shit go hard.
for sure.
And Love Language
Appreciate
go
you.
hard. Like Love Language,
Fun.
Manifestation, and
Yeah.
Healing. Them was the three
Oh, man.
that stuck out to me. I don't know if either one of them are one of your favorites, but
Yeah.
Love Language, Manifestation, and Healing, I
Mm-hmm.
felt all into the heart. No
And
bullshit. I'm like,
I came with. I'm surprised you mentioned healing because I
I
actually
like the
came
Healing.
with, yeah, the healing. I came up with the That's a real situation too. Like I say, all of them.
Yeah,
I came up with that beat drop like that because originally the producer like we ain't have all that breaking down the beat like that. But I was like, man, we gotta break this bitch down. Like it just made
yeah.
sense. It just made sense. But yeah, a lot of y'all need healing out there, man. That's for y'all to heal, bro. Like niggas ain't really healing out here, bro. They
Most
ain't.
definitely. I really recommend people go check out the album Spiritual Awakening by Major D.
Sure, bro.
For real. Major
Yeah, and
D
like
star.
the whole point of that too with healing, bro, is like people don't understand that these are real life situations that we need. Like we all need healing. We all need to like music is my therapy. So it's my way of me getting it out. But everybody don't do music. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to see a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like all that's
Right.
cool. Like let's not keep downplaying a lot of these things just because of the past, bro. Like it's a new time now. Um, you know, I mean, I understand that everybody ain't chosen and everybody ain't, you know, everybody realize different things at different stages in their life, but a lot of these things that we was taught growing up as people, they didn't really know what the hell they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these things we gotta unlearn them in order to really learn. Cause it's like if you ain't able to unlearn the shit, it's always gonna go in one ear out the other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just shining with this project. I'm just trying to shine the light on the shit that really the light need to be shined on. Like that was all, you know what I'm saying? That's what this project was about. And I know people gonna appreciate it within time. I know it's one of them projects that
It's
it's gonna
something
take a
that you
little
can
minute.
listen to back to back from song 1 to 11. You ain't got to skip no track. It's like you telling the story how you put it is like you're telling the story from 1 through 11. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like I know the people, even if you don't get it right now, to anybody listening, even if you don't get it right this second, you're going to appreciate it in the long run
Most
because you're
definitely.
going to understand that even as musicians or entertainers, whatever you want to look at me and Street Dialogue as, you're going to understand that we all humans at the end of the day. So we
Facts.
all still go through the same shit. Ain't nobody going through nothing that ain't the next person ain't going through. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta just, you know what I'm saying? Don't turn a blind eye to it. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
Try it out. Try to understand certain things.
So
Keep an open mind.
that goes into my next question. How important is it to be aware of your surroundings? Because that's what I took from this album.
Yeah.
Like you
Coming from the D, bro, like I always, you know what I'm saying? That was the only way. So you gotta always be aware of your surroundings. But that's definitely, yeah, that is a big part of the project. Like you have to at least be willing to learn things that you're not used to. I'm trying to see how I can explain it. Like, because I know certain people, like in this life, like you kind of learn just what you're doing, and you don't want to learn more than just whatever
exactly.
you do. Like whatever your job is, whatever you do as an occupation, just whatever. You got to be willing to learn more about the world. Like learn about the earth, man. Learn about what's going on. Learn about what happened before your time. Like that's what we got Google for. You know what I'm saying? Do your research. Figure out. It's just important to like not only it's not just about that, but it's about learning yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And I think when you start doing that, that's when you're gonna learn more about yourself. You know what I'm
Big facts.
saying? Because a lot of people out here they don't even know who they are, bro, and that be the thing. You know, so just
And what you're
it's just
saying, that's
about
real
learning.
game. That's real game.
Yep.
That's real game. So my next question is, how did you come up with your artist name and how does it apply to your life and what does it mean to you?
So I get asked this question all the time about my name, cause everybody know from the city as far as niggas know me from growing up, but niggas always first it started out from D Money. I don't know where that came from. That's just like the usual nickname if your name start with D, whatever. But niggas used to call me D Star because they say I look like a star in the hood. I guess like I just stood out. I guess anywhere I went, people would say like I stand out. So they just used to call me. They gave me that nickname, D Star. And then
Right.
me knowing that, okay, me always having that feeling that I had got back from when I was 6, I'm like, well shit, if I'm gonna be a star, you know, the way my mindset, the way my vision is set up, it's always been big. So that's where I came up with the major and I just put it together. Like they already called me D Star and it sounded good. Major D Star, it sounded good. So I'm like, shit, I'm gonna run with that. And that just just mainly come from the mindset.
That's real shit.
Just wanting to do big things and hopefully bring it back to the city, you know what I'm saying? Any way that I can anywhere I possibly can, you know. So that's where the name came from. It really just came from back home in Detroit.
Major D Star. It makes sense now. Because I was wondering why you were saying Major before D Star, you feel me?
Yeah.
So
Because
that
it
makes
was
sense.
just D Star. Like, even to this day, some people call me, like everybody from back in the day or in the city, they still just call me D Star. And then some people call me Mage. A
Major.
lot of niggas
I
call
see
me
why
Mage.
it's like that now. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Major D Star. Now I see why you said D Star, because you was basically D Star growing up. Everybody looked at you like you was D Star and you was doing major things.
Yep.
So that makes sense. Okay. I'm feeling that. So I ask everybody this that come on the podcast, what do you value more, morals or money? And explain why.
Bruh. I got you. You said morals or money, right?
Yeah. What do you value more, morals or money?
Put
And
it like
explain why.
this, bro. Put it like this. If I value, because I'm gonna let people, I'm gonna let them, figure out what I'm trying to say. But if I value morals more than money, I'd be at the top of the game right now.
Yeah.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just money is. I mean, money is good. We all need it to live, everything. But it's like, bruh, morals is that's your character. If you ain't got morals, I mean, you really ain't shit.
Facts.
I mean, that's pretty much, you know what I'm saying? That's just self-explanatory, bro. Like, the motherfuckers who value money more than morals, you know immediately. Like,
Exactly.
damn, you ain't even gotta know them for real. Like, you just know how they is just off of first impression.
Real
You know what I'm
talk.
saying? You ain't even gotta know a motherfucker. And they like, so morals over money any day, any time. Cause just know, if I valued that, y'all would know. Cause you know what I'm saying. I'd be at the very tip top of the game. You know what I mean?
Big facts. So my next question is, can you name your top 5 artists in hip hop right now? What's your top
That
5 artists
was
in hip hop right now?
spot.
Name the
Damn.
top 5. It could be in the past till now. Like what's your top 5 artists in hip hop? They don't have to be present in the current, but your top 5 artists in hip hop right now. What's your top 5?
I mean, number one is Biggie off the rip.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is gotta be Jay-Z. Because we speaking musically right now. Jay-Z. Number three, I gotta give Wayne his props. Damn, this where it get hard. Oh, is that the
So we got Biggie, Jay-Z,
Because
Wayne.
we just talking hip hop, right? We ain't saying
Yeah,
all time. Because my list is different for all time.
yeah, just hip hop. Just hip hop.
Okay, so yeah, we
Top
got
5
Biggie,
artists in hip hop.
Biggie, Jay,
Jay-Z.
Wayne.
We got 2 more.
Dang. I always like mentioning Luda because he was very
Man,
at the
a
time,
lot of
bro.
people
He don't
don't
never
mention
get
Luda.
credit. That nigga know
That's
how
real
to
talk.
rap.
Yeah, he was a DJ before that. So
Yep.
yeah. Luda is most
So
definitely
I
great.
usually mention Luda. I haven't been asked that question in a while, the top five, because I was getting asked that motherfucker a lot back when everybody was asking everybody. For every interview, they ask you that shit. So I
I
usually
try to
always
say
mention Luda.
I try to
Um,
say that towards the end.
yeah. And
Because the most
I,
important is your story. You feel me?
yeah.
Uh,
Shit.
we got Biggie, Jay-Z, Wayne,
Mhm.
Luda. We need one more. That last slot. Who we gonna fill that up with? You got Pop, you got Scarface, you got Trick from the D. Who else we got from Detroit?
We got a lot of niggas, the Lodge Boys, Blade, the main nigga that niggas don't know, because that nigga was a legend, Blade. But if I was okay, I'll give you. Let's just put Luda for.
We got Eminem too now. Eminem.
Sean. Gotta give it to Big
Sean,
Sean.
ooh, Big Sean, yeah. Yeah,
Gotta give it to my man's Big Sean, man.
yeah,
That's family.
yeah.
Niggas sleep on Sean too. Niggas don't give him his credit, but it is what it is.
That is a notable name right there. Big Sean. Most definitely, Big Sean. So just off topic, how you feel about this Lil Wayne not being in the Super Bowl this year? What you feel about that? What's your thoughts on that?
um,
Because that's the biggest thing in hip hop right now with news before the Super Bowl come. Like,
yeah.
how you
Okay.
feel about Lil Wayne
So
not
I
being?
mean, of course, I'm a Wayne fan, so I would have liked him to be in the Super Bowl, but I get why they didn't put him in there. You know, Jay ain't gonna say shit.
Right,
I would have just thought that, like, I think that's why the people were so mad, because it's like they would have thought that he would have put Wayne because they cool. It's not just because it's in New Orleans. It's because they had a relationship at a point too. So niggas like,
right,
damn, they thought that at one point Jay was embracing Wayne. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now it's kind of like, oh damn. So I think that's why it was an uproar, because people thought that Jay embraced Wayne at one point. And it's like, damn, how you ain't gonna pick Wayne in New Orleans? Um,
You know, I think they probably had a misconception because the last Super Bowl, when it was in Cali, they had everybody from Cali coming out. Kendrick
yeah,
was on that one.
exactly, exactly. So that
And
just
now he headlining the one in New Orleans. That's why I think people really had the uproar like, damn,
yeah,
they thought he was going to go in
it's
that
like
same
that
approach,
too. It's
but
like,
it wasn't it.
yeah, it's
He
like a
threw a
multitude of
curveball.
things. Like it's like a multitude of things that puts it to where it's like it only makes sense for that was supposed to happen. But so yeah, I mean it hurt because you want to see Wayne get his flowers, but he get his flowers in other ways, just probably not how much we think he should. But he get his flowers in other ways. But so I mean, it kind of slided me at first, but I do understand though. But I would have liked to seen that, but it is what it is.
Got you. So we about to wrap the podcast up. You know what I'm saying? So is there any new projects that you got coming out that you want to talk about besides Spiritual Awakening or any
Yeah,
things that you're working on right now at the moment that we should be expecting
yeah.
to come out in the
So
future?
I got an R&B project that I promised the ladies. I'm working with a few singers. Um, I think June B is one of he on there too. He made it on the project. So I will
Yeah.
give that surprise, but I got a few other singers. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, give it all away now, but I do got an
Right.
R&B project dropping before the end of the year because I promised them that on Valentine's Day. I promised I would give the ladies the R&B project before the end of the year because they've been the fans been wanting that for a while too. That was like a demand the past couple of years, like because usually when I do an R&B record, it usually ring off. So I will be giving y'all that before the end of the year. In the next couple of weeks, um, I'm trying to think if I should give away the name of the project because I'm still kind of deciding on it. So I don't want to be like.
Right. Right.
Cause
Right. Right. Right.
nobody want me to say nothing right now because it's like I'm not 100%, but I'm about 80% on it. So just know we wrapping it up right now. It's going through the mastering process. It's gonna be 8 songs, an R&B project strictly for the ladies. That will drop before the end of the year, and then I do got another big project coming um at the top of the year as well. That'll drop right before the summer, like
So should we
springtime.
expect any videos, music videos for
Yes,
Spiritual
sir.
Awakening? Like, I know you're working on something for that now.
Yeah,
I'm really waiting
yeah.
to see
So
on what you're gonna drop for that.
yeah,
Like which
that's
song you gonna pick out? Like what video you gonna drop first for Spiritual Awakening?
yeah, that's another thing. First video for Spiritual Awakening we dropping will be the manifestation video. We giving
That's
y'all
one of the
that as
ones I
the
like.
exclusive Monday for Major Mondays. To all my fans, supporters, they know I do something called Major Mondays where every Monday or every other Monday, I'm putting out new content, whether it could be music, videos, all the above. So we dropping, y'all hearing it here first.
Yeah.
Manifestation, music video, first thing this Monday for Major Mondays.
You got a feature on that
Ready.
with Fedaro. That's how you say his name? Fedaro?
Yeah,
Feature
Fedaro.
Fedaro.
Yep.
He gonna be in the he gonna be appearing in the guest. He gonna be appearing in that video.
Special music video, so I can't give it away.
Yeah.
It's a little different. It's more of like what makes sense to. It's like
it's gonna be a movie.
It's a movie, but I can't give it away on how it's gonna be a movie because it's something new that I haven't did before.
Yeah,
and it goes with what's going on now with the AI and stuff. That's the only hint. That's the only hint I can give away right now. Just know it's coming Monday. Be ready.
I'm waiting on that one for sure. So how can anybody, they wanted to follow you on your social medias, like you can give all your social medias out for everybody that's watching, where they can follow you at Major D Star?
Yes, sirski. At Major D Star on everything, any social networks. Major D Star TV on YouTube. Make sure y'all subscribe. Visit my official website, majordstar.net. And for merch, teammajormerch.com. Tap in with your boy.
I appreciate you for coming on the podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Golden Money Team Marketing. If you need marketing 24/7 around the clock, make sure y'all hit them up. I salute to you, Major D Star. Salute.
Appreciate you for having me, man. Podcast. Make sure y'all subscribe to them, show them some love. Real genuine people over there. I feel the love, so it's all love, bro. And you know what I'm saying, they repping Miami. They repping a few spots I'm familiar with, so I know it's real love over there. Make sure y'all fuck with them.
Appreciate that. Y'all most definitely subscribe to the Street Dialogue Podcast on YouTube. Man, it was a pleasure having you on the show, Major D Star. Salute to a real one. Team Major in the building. Y'all go grab that fucking merch. Real talk. And we out.
Grab it. Love.
100. Team Major in the building. Salute.
Salute.
Patience is a virtue. Everything in life takes time. Stay focused. Stay consistent. Stay on your grind.